Wild night in the NBA last night. Lot of teams to potentially be concerned about, some major upsets, and the Warriors now without Steph Curry. I'm going to get into that and a whole lot more. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here to our 100% independent NBA channel. All right, let's dive into it. Kicking things off, let's take a look at the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Brooklyn Nets. The first big upset. Shocker. The Nets, who were not expected to win much at all this season, expected to be very much trying to capture the flag, Cooper flag specifically, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks, the 1-2 Milwaukee Bucks, 115-102. Wasn't even like it was a close game. They beat them by 13. What is going on in Milwaukee? The Bucks looking like an older team, looking like they might be in big trouble. This is why I don't trust the Brooklyn Nets. 2 years in a row, first round playoff exits. I don't trust this team until they get out there and they prove it. And so far, they've not been able to. They've got back-to-back losses now to the Brooklyn Nets and the Chicago Bulls. These are simply not the kind of teams you should be losing to if you are the Milwaukee Bucks. But take a look at what happened here. Giannis did Giannis things, basically. 22 points, 12 boards, 7 assists, 7 of 11 shooting. Can't complain about that. Brook Lopez, 15 points. Okay, no block shots, but 3 of 5 from deep. He did his thing. Damian Lillard, though, just 1 of 7 from 3. He makes up for that a little bit by getting to the free throw line. So you look at all this. Okay, Gary Trent Jr., just 9 points. It's all right. I mean, you got 16 and 10 from Bobby Portis, but just not quite good enough for Milwaukee. Here's the issue. It's not so much their ability to score the basketball, though they didn't shoot well enough as a team from 3. You look at some of the other guys. Bobby Portis, 1 of 4. Pat Connaughton, 1 of 3. DeLon Wright, 0 for 1. These all add up. Damian Lillard, 1 for 7. A low 3-point percentage in addition to high turnovers. 18 turnovers for the Bucks. Giannis had 4 for Lillard. They're high usage guys, but still all these across the board, all these extra turnovers, they really added up. So how do you drop this game, though, if you're Milwaukee? Well, not only do you shoot poorly from 3, but you also turn the ball over a bunch. And then let's go take a look at the Brooklyn Nets. Oh, there it is. That's what happened. Dennis Schroeder and Cam Thomas go for 29 and 32, respectively. Oh, my goodness. 61 points combined for Dennis Schroeder and Cam Thomas. That's it right there in terms of how the Nets can win this game. And then you go look at the percentages, much better. 36%. That's, about league average from 3, but still much better than what the Bucks shot. And then you've got 23 free throw attempts, 91% from the line. They beat the Bucks in the offensive rebound battle, 12 to, what was it, 7? Yeah, 7 offensive rebounds for Milwaukee. And then you take a look at the turnovers, 12 turnovers for the Nets, 18 for the Milwaukee Bucks. And what does that result in? A 91-74 shot advantage for the Brooklyn Nets. They took 91 shots to just 74 for Milwaukee. And then again, Cam Thomas and Dennis Schroeder going absolutely berserk. And I think this actually speaks to a bigger problem with the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's their ability to contain quick, athletic guards. And that's exactly what Cam Thomas and Dennis Schroeder are. You look at this roster, it was a problem last season. It's been a problem ever since they traded for Damian Lillard. They have a better chance of defending bigger, stronger, slower guards. Damian Lillard, never been known as a great defensive player. Gary Trent Jr. is still living off of his defensive reputation from his Portland days. That was a long time ago. He's not been a good defensive player in a long time. So picking up Gary Trent Jr., well, I think he was a bargain on the contract. Get him on a minimum. That's phenomenal. Same thing with Taurean Prince. Getting these guys on minimums, great deals. But this did not solve the defensive problem that you've got. This team looks slow. This team looks old. And when you run up against a couple of quick guards like Cam Thomas and Dennis Schroeder, this is the kind of thing that can happen. Overall, Milwaukee has more talent than the Nets. But what happened here, those quick guards, they got to Milwaukee. And again, 1-2 now on the season. That is certainly concerning. That's concerning. And let's keep an eye on the Milwaukee Bucks. But this is why I don't believe in this team. They need to prove it. 2 years in a row, first round exits. I'm not a believer in the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Giannis is great, but I don't know. Giannis is already talking about this team may trade me, kind of reverse trade demand, right? The team might trade me if we don't win a championship this year. trying to like put it on the other foot, like, oh, the Bucks might get rid of me. We all know what he's really saying. I wonder if we're going to get fireworks in Milwaukee if the season continues to go this way. Long way to go. Not sounding the alarm just yet, but yikes. The 76ers picked up their first win of the season, taking out the Indiana Pacers. Took them overtime, but I think really what this speaks to is, number one, how thin the margin for error is with the 76ers without Joel Embiid, without Paul George. Hopefully they're back in action soon, but it also tells you just how special Tyrese Maxey is. Look at the 45 points, 14 of 32 shooting. Didn't shoot well from three. 17 three-point attempts. Good Lord. Tyrese Maxey, unreal. But look at that, 20 offensive rebounds. Andre Drummond with 5 of them, 17 rebounds for Andre Drummond, who admitted the other day to missing shots on purpose just to pad his rebounding stats. Well, he didn't do it much in this game because he's 4 of 6 shooting, but 17 rebounds for Andre Drummond. What a performance from him in 37 minutes filling in. The 76ers, they need Embiid. They need Paul George. They need these guys back in action before we can really pass judgment on them. But this is the kind of game that could wind up really helping them come April, because you found a way to get a win despite not having your two guys. They're still just 1-2 on the season because, again, this team is built around a big three, and right now they've only got one of them. Fortunately, he's phenomenal, but still, that's not enough. The only concern here, though, oh my gosh, Tyrese Maxey, I know it was an overtime game, but 48 minutes? He played 48 minutes in this one? Yikes. That's a lot. That's a lot on Tyrese Maxey. Hopefully they don't run him into the ground while they're waiting and waiting and waiting for Joel Embiid and Paul George to step foot on the floor and play for the 76ers. Eric Gordon with 15 points here for the 76ers. 20 offensive rebounds, though. Again, overtime game, but you'll hear me talk about this a lot. The offensive rebound revolution, it's here. It's here. Teams are focusing more now on the offensive glass than ever before. Last I looked yesterday, so this will have shifted, but there were, I believe, 11 teams in the NBA that were averaging more offensive rebounds than the highest offensive rebounding team in the league last season. Teams have realized that offensive rebounds gives you one of two things: gives you a putback at the rim or an open three. The two most valuable shots in basketball. So teams are starting to focus on it, and we're seeing it around the NBA. 20 offensive boards here for the 76ers, just 7 offensive boards for the Pacers. In this one, you know, they got okay production across the board. You'd like to see Halliburton's assists go up a bit. 41% from 3. Nothing wrong with that. Just got crushed on the offensive glass. I think the Pacers are going to be just fine. This was a Tyrese Maxey heater game, and the 76ers, you know, they were fighting to finally get their first win of the season. I think the Pacers, again, they will be just fine, but still, you'd like to have back those shooting performances from Miles Turner. 4 for 11 for a dude who's a big. That's awful, but 4 steals, 6 turnovers too for Miles Turner. Turnovers crept up on the Pacers. Again, I think they'll be just fine, but just like the 76ers will be looking back saying, man, good thing we came in and stole that game against a healthy Pacers side. The Pacers are going to be looking back, wanting this game back, wanting to get another shot at this one. All right, let's jump over to a really concerning game here, and not necessarily because of the final score, but because of what happened to Steph Curry. Steph Curry in Clippers Warriors, he sprains his ankle, or turned his ankle, not once but twice. If you remember, when Steph Curry first came into the NBA, he had ankle issues. In fact, the reason why Steph Curry and the Warriors were able to sign Kevin Durant was in large part because Curry was on a below market value contract because he had so many ankle issues. When the Warriors signed him to a long-term deal, at that point in time, it was seen as a big risk because he was hurt so often dealing with these ankle problems. I know in recent years it's not been an issue, but to see him roll the same ankle twice in the same game, non-contact, it's a little bit concerning. And now the Warriors are going to be without him, and they dropped this game to the Clippers. This is the Warriors' first loss of the season. 112-104 is the final score. Let's give the Clippers some credit here. The Clippers, they are playing defense. They're getting after it. No Kawhi Leonard. They hyped up their defense heading into the season, and now here they are. Terrence Mann was talking about how it's the best defensive team that he's been on, and you look at what they've done, it's been absolutely phenomenal on the defensive side of the ball. That said, Terrence Mann himself didn't exactly have a great game. And you saw some other guys that were able to steal away some minutes from him. But the big guy to focus on, well, it is the big guy, Ivica Zubac. I know James Harden's on this team, and he went to the free throw line 9 times, had 11 assists. He did his thing, 23 points, like to shoot a little better, 6 of 19. But look at Ivica Zubac. Check this out. Unreal start to the season. Ivica Zubac may be looking at one of the bargain contracts of the summer with the deal that he signed with the Clippers. 23, 24, and 21 points, averaging 23 points per game through 3 games, 14 boards. Unreal stuff. 59% from the field for big Ivica Zubac. He is helping power this Clippers team, and this is why they now have back-to-back wins, literally back-to-back, Saturday and Sunday. They beat the Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors, 2 playoff teams in the Western Conference. Their only loss on the season, it's an overtime loss to another Western Conference playoff team, the Phoenix Suns. Give the Clippers a lot of credit. They are playing better than anybody expected them to. Derrick Jones Jr. has fit in, really helping bring that defensive identity. He even put up 18 points in last night's game, and despite no Kawhi Leonard, they're just finding a way. But again, you go look at the Golden State Warriors, good offensive rebounding team, but the Clippers were able to match them there with 14 offensive boards. And Steph Curry's injury, that is certainly cause for concern. Steph Curry put up 18 and 6 before having to leave the game. But ultimately, while Andrew Wiggins looked really good, 11 to 15 shooting, you got a heater game out of him, still not enough to beat the Clippers. Jonathan Kuminga, kind of welcome to the season, makes his first 3. One of his big goals of the season was to show that he could shoot the 3 ball. And you think he's 1 for 9 to start the season? That's not ideal. Especially when he's trying to prove to head coach Steve Kerr that he can play the 3. Not great. 8 points on average, 33% from the field, 11% from 3, only 3.3 rebounds in just under 20 minutes. This is a guy who did not come to terms with the Golden State Warriors on a new contract, so he's in a contract year, wants to prove he deserves a big deal. So far, definitely not doing that. Kind of a quiet game out of Draymond Green, 5 boards, 2 assists, but the Warriors ultimately fall to the Clippers, their first loss of the season, and now they're going to go multiple games without Steph Curry due to this injury. Let's take a quick peek and see. Let's say that he's out for, let's call it 3. It wasn't a terrible term, but the Warriors got to be careful. So you got New Orleans twice on a back-to-back, and then you go on a road trip. So is Steph Curry back next weekend for the start of the road trip? At Houston, at Washington, at Boston. Ooh, that could be tough. The Pelicans, we're going to talk about them in a minute. It's not the worst schedule ever because you've got Washington in there. That'll be kind of a gimme win, hopefully, for the Warriors. And the Pelicans have not been playing good basketball. So maybe you can pick up, at the very least, maybe split those. We'll see. But not the easiest schedule either. So Steph, heal up. Hopefully he can get back as soon as possible. All right, let's jump over to the New Orleans Pelicans. Quick peek at them. The Blazers, again, talk about upsets. The Blazers beat the Pelicans 125 to 103. So you have the Clippers beating the Warriors, who were unbeaten at that point. You have the Nets beating the Bucks. And now you've got the Blazers not just beating, but blowing out the Pelicans. What the hell happened? New Orleans, my goodness. Zion Williamson, 14 points, 4 assists, 3 of 12 shooting. Ouch. Then on top of that, Brandon Ingram. The bottom fell out of his 3-point shooting. He was shooting 50% from 3 heading into this game. 0 of 3 in this one, 7 to 17. So the volume dropped for Brandon Ingram from deep, as did the efficiency. 8 boards, 6 assists, just 14 points. 27 for CJ McCollum. Remember, no DeJounte Murray and no Trey Murphy III. That certainly hurts this Pelicans team, their overall depth. And you can see they just couldn't quite get it done. And really, it was the starters who got run off the floor. Minus 29 for CJ McCollum. Good Lord, to a Blazers team that's expected to be one of the worst, not just in the West, but in the NBA. Anthony Simons dropped 27. DeAndre Ayton, 7 for 9. Jeremy Grant has had a great start to the season. 28 points for Jeremy Grant in this one. Look at Jeremy Grant's game log right now. Look at this. 28 points, 34 points, 16 points, averaging 26 points per game, shooting 38% from 3. That might excite the trade market for him, and the Blazers pick up their first win this one over the New Orleans Pelicans. You know, the Pelicans, they've got to get guys healthy. I feel like I'm just a broken record because that's what we say about the Pelicans every year. They've got to get guys healthy. They need Trey Murphy III. And boy, DeJounte Murray, losing him, he's going to be out for a while due to that broken hand. That's not good. That's going to be a big, big problem for the Pels. In the Western Conference, you can't drop games that you're not supposed to. And the Pelicans 100% were not supposed to drop this game. Again, give the Blazers credit. Remember, I talked about the offensive rebound revolution. Look at this. 46% from the field, 40% from three. They didn't even miss that many shots, and they had 22 offensive rebounds. They crushed the Pels on the offensive glass. 6 offensive rebounds for Donovan Clingan, 6 for DeAndre Ayton. Great performance from the Blazers. Hopefully that doesn't hurt them in the Cooper Flag tank race. Last one, maybe the least exciting game of the night. That's why I saved it here for the end. The Thunder, they blow out the Hawks 128-104. The Thunder are fantastic. Just a great team. One of the few remaining unbeaten teams in the NBA. Trae Young did his thing with 24 and 8. Disappointed in Jalen Johnson, 3 of 13 shooting. I think he's much better than that. Better days ahead for him. My pick for most improved player this season has not shown it just yet. Number 1 overall pick, Zachary Sachet. He was okay. Onyeka Okongwu, something to keep an eye on. The minutes battle between Okongwu and Capella. Okongwu getting the better of him here. 10 boards, 6 points for Capella. But Okongwu played 1 minute more. Did not have a very productive night, though, but still did get the lion's share of the minutes, just barely. And then you go take a quick peek. Oh, my gosh. The Thunder. If Chet Holmgren is doing these things, 25 points, 9 boards, 4 assists, 6 blocks. Are you kidding me? 3 of 5 from 3. Like, good luck beating the Pelicans or beating the Thunder if they're doing stuff like this. Good luck. Jalen Williams, 20 points, 9 boards, 5 assists, 35, 11, and 9, just barely missing a triple-double for SGA. SGA had 3 blocks. Unbelievable. 3 blocks, 6 stocks for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. No wonder this is a blowout, right? You look at this stat line, it's almost a surprise that it wasn't worse for the Atlanta Hawks. All the Thunder players went nuts, and this team is so damn good. That's why I've got them as the clear favorite to come out of the Western Conference. But that was last night. Some big, big upsets. How do you guys feel about this? Let me know in the comments section. Are you out on the Milwaukee Bucks like I am? How worried should the Warriors be right now without Steph Curry? I think that's certainly a concern. And what about the New Orleans Pelicans? Are they in free fall now? Obviously, we've got a couple of games coming up. Warriors and Pelicans. Somebody's going to win. I think even without Steph, I might pick the Warriors. I'm worried about the Pelicans without DeJounte Murray and without Trey Murphy III. I just don't know that the pieces fit together right. Even fully healthy, I don't think they fit together right with this Pelicans side. But give me your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget, subscribe right here to the Basketball Bulletin. Until next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.